live on YouTube. All right.
Yep, I'm getting feed on both.
Getting feed on both? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Looks like Facebook is still counting down.
Okay. Hello! For those who are watching out there. It is time to start the show.
Well, it doesn't look like Facebook started up. I can see us on YouTube, though.
Gotta fix this Facebook thing going on here.
So I'm keeping up with everything on YouTube and Facebook. If you can see us, chime in the chat. That way, make sure we're doing everything right. Okay, I see somebody on YouTube. I Love Lucy 87.
Yeah, that's my wife.
Oh.
Hey, honey.
I was just waiting for everything to pick up on Facebook.
Yep.
At least we know that we know how to YouTube.
Okay. Trying to figure this out. Seriously? This worked so well earlier.
Is it angry that we're trying to do both at the same time?
It probably is. Okay. Try going on Facebook one more time.
Yep. Oh, looked like someone's going.
Okay. Yeah, we're there.
All right.
All right, peeps.
Okay, so we're going to try and keep up with everybody on both YouTube
Yes,
and Facebook.
which
if we
is
can.
going to be an awesome task to do. But Geek Philosophy, episode 20. Thanks again for joining us. We're doing a special episode 20 as we start something new, doing live podcasting. So if you're on Facebook, thank you for joining us. If you're on YouTube, again, thank you for joining us. We are going to try to keep up with the chats just to make sure everything's going smoothly. And we got a lot of geek culture to talk about this week, so we can get right into it.
Yep.
Don here, got my co-host Clay.
Hey.
Let's get into it. Let's get into, for those who finally got a chance to turn down The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina the Teenage Witch on Netflix and join us, thank you. Let's get into it. Avengers 4.
Or The Haunting of Hill House. A lot of people are doing that. Either one. Thanks for being here.
You finished it like 3 days ago.
No, I haven't. So I got halfway through The Haunting of Hill House, and then my wife was like, "Oh, that sounds kind of interesting." So now I'm starting it over again with her.
Don't the wives get you every time? You find something good.
I'm just happy that she's not too big into scary stuff. So I'm just happy that she's wanted to watch.
So she's not that big into scary stuff. Does that mean it's not that scary, or?
No, I mean there are scary parts to it. Scary, I mean
okay.
But she doesn't like jump scares. So it's one of those things where, but it's to the point where you can kind of feel that coming.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a total scare, but she does a lot of this, okay. and then ask me what happens after it.
But let's get into it. Avengers 4. They came out with a lot of sneaky stuff this week.
Yeah,
they were being sneaky. So looking at it, still haven't gotten a title. Kevin Feige came out and said, "You're going to get a trailer by the end of the year," but I don't believe you, sir. I don't believe you, one, because I don't think you should do it. I don't think you should have a trailer. Like, whatever the trailer does, it's going to spoil something.
Yeah. It's going to be hard. Yeah, it's going to be hard to avoid any of that. And so, but I don't know. That would be a pretty gutsy move if they just didn't show anything.
Just go ahead. We're all going to see the movie.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's the thing is just with these Marvel movies, with Star Wars, do we really need hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars for advertising? We're all going to see it anyways.
Yeah.
I mean,
everyone's going to see it. Don't really need to take much. But anyway, so now that they're say they're going to do a trailer, yes, Kevin Feige, we got some images and some little rumors thing going on.
Yeah.
We got to see Pepper Potts in what looks to be a rescue armor, which if you're not familiar with rescue, which a lot of people are. So Tony did in the comics, Tony made armor for Pepper Potts.
Mm-hmm.
Now it was some weird Avengers or comic resurrection type stuff, but it was called the rescue armor. It's pretty famous in the Pepper Potts history. You actually saw it in the comics, and you actually saw it on TV in Iron Man: The Animated Adventures in like 2005, 2006. It was that CGI one.
So before the MCU.
Yes. So now we're going to see it, and I got mixed feelings because I was expecting to see it in Iron Man 3. I'm going to be real. That's where I wanted to see that. I wanted to see the rescue armor in there. Instead, we got Pepper Potts on steroids.
Yeah.
So now, does that mean she's going to be fighting? Does that mean that Tony might be gone in this one?
Well, that's what I'm expecting anyways. If Stark makes it out of Avengers 4 alive, I'll be surprised.
He's the only one that renewed his contract, though.
Did he?
Yeah, he renewed his contract. He's literally the only one that renewed their contract.
Yeah. I think either way, I think it's obvious that he's going to be, even if he survives this Avengers movie, his role in the MCU is probably going to be
it's going to be hand down to Spider-Man. I'm pretty sure.
I don't know, because
Iron Man was the front man for the first 10 years. He was the front man. I think they're trying to get ready for either, I don't know who else can be the front man except Spider-Man in popularity.
I don't see that happening business wise unless they make some sort of deal with Sony where it's like, hey, we'll make your guy the head of the pack if you keep making these deals with us and helping this whole thing move forward. Otherwise, I don't really see that as.
All right, then
going
who becomes a new front man? Take Spider-Man off the picture. Who do you want as the front man?
Captain Marvel. I think Captain Marvel, for me, either Captain Marvel or whoever takes over Captain America.
I can see the Captain Marvel thing because they've been trying the last couple of years in comics. They've been really trying to put it in the front.
So that's the thing, is that Marvel is trailing behind. The one thing that DC has up on Marvel is the female superhero.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the MCU has had a decade to get this to a decent spot, and they're still dragging their feet. They're just now getting all this done, but that's only after Wonder Woman was a huge success.
But at the same time, I'm a little worried because I don't know if Brie Larson can hold. This is not a female thing. I don't know if Brie Larson, as the actress, can hold the whole MCU, because that's what Robert Downey had to do. He had the whole MCU.
I don't know. I think,
like, if this was DC, and I was going, oh, okay, Gal Gadot's going to have to be the front woman. I can believe that. Gal got the charisma to hold the whole DC universe.
Right, but if you had said that before you saw Wonder Woman, you wouldn't have known, because what else did we see her in besides
That's a valid point.
the Fast and Furious movies?
So we wait till March.
Yeah,
I
think that's the best way. I think my understanding is she's a great actress. I've only seen her in a couple of things. Like, she was in a couple episodes of Community where she was really funny.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't seen her in many other big movies. So I can't judge her acting abilities by that, but obviously she's got something good going for her.
I feel like the whole front man is not about acting skills. I do believe it's about charisma.
Yeah, and also just overall powers. I think that otherwise Spider-Man would be the obvious choice if they owned him.
I'm looking at Tom Holland right now.
Yeah,
he's charismatic as crazy.
Oh yeah,
he naturally just goes into it. He's very good at leading. That's why I said Tom Holland. If I was to take him and I would pick the person I would think to be front man, I'm a little biased. I would want Black Panther.
That's another good one.
But at the same time, I know Chad's gonna get tired of doing this. He's already tired of doing this. So I'm like, nah,
he's already tired.
I think you're gonna get a couple movies out of him, but I don't think you're gonna get a front man situation out of Chadwick.
Yeah. No, I think I would put my money on Captain Marvel, just because, I mean, power-wise too, it's basically the Superman of MCU.
And you got the whole, if you do this whole sword thing where she's running sword, the extraterrestrial shield, it might work.
Yeah.
But so we got that, and there was a couple other things. A couple of people have been confirmed. So if you are a 13 Reasons Why fan, you haven't seen the Avengers movie, you might want to start going to it. Catherine Langford,
yeah,
from 13 Reasons Why, is going to be in the MCU. Now, she's confirmed for Avengers 4. She's already filmed her stuff. The only question is, who is she? And there's two theories out there right now. I'm going to do the one I like best. That she is Kate Bishop, which is pretty much the Hawkeye of the Young Avengers.
Right.
The Young Avengers was a comic that came out that had the two children of Scarlet Witch, Wiccan and Speed. You had the son of Captain Marvel and a Skrull, Hulkling. You had Patriot, which was Eli Bradley, which was the grandson of the first Captain American super soldier experiment, which was Isley Bradley. They apparently used super soldier serum on a platoon of black men first, and he was the only surviving member.
Mm-hmm.
And that was it. And then Cassie Lang joined it, and then Young Vision joined it. So she was the Hawkeye. We already see that Hawkeye is not going to be Hawkeye in Avengers 4. He's going to be playing Ronin. So I see someone's superhero code name being up for grabs. So that's one. The other is an older version of Cassie Lang, which we've seen in the Ant-Man vs. Ant-Man and Wasp and Ant-Man movies. we're going 5 years into the future.
Yeah,
Well,
which
5 years
wouldn't add. I don't know. I think
Wouldn't-
the actress
she can
who
play
played her-
young.
Yeah,
She can play high school, but that puts her like in middle school because she was like elementary.
well,
Well,
5 years.
hold up. Yeah, hold up.
You might be able to argue that she's like early in high school.
What is she playing? 13 Reasons. Is she like a sophomore or a freshman?
Yeah, something like that. Early on.
So yeah, maybe she can play the high school role still.
Yeah.
So Cassie Lang is another option. I still think the Kate Bishop thing is.
Well, so the only reason why I think it's Cassie Lang is because it's already been put out there that they were looking at getting that character cast. That's already been a known. It's more than a rumor. I think that's pretty much a done deal that they were talking about having that character being brought into future Marvel movies and even the third Ant-Man movie. And I'm all about that because I think not that there was anything wrong with the first Ant-Man movie. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But I think the second Ant-Man movie was so much better than the first one. That I think that franchise is only looking to grow.
But that's my problem. You and Cassie Lang, all you're gonna get is someone that grows. Like we've already got 2 people that do the powers.
Yeah.
That's what makes it interesting. We got one person that can shrink and grow, and we got one person that just focuses on shrinking.
Yeah,
do I need a third same power set?
That's a good point. But we also don't know if this character is there as a supporting character, or if it's going to be somebody who would actually be a hero.
If they're keeping it, if it was just a supporting role and she's just there to be there, I feel like they were released. It's not going to hurt you, but I feel like they're keeping it under wraps. That means this is someone that's going to be a spoiler or something that's going to change a tide or something.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I'd rather go ahead and see Kate Bishop.
Yeah,
as a Hawkeye. I like Hawkeye in training. That adds a little bit more to the story. That's
time will
my
tell.
opinion. We'll see.
Time will tell. Then we'll figure out who's right.
And then we also have rumors that Anthony Mackie might be taking up the mantle of Captain America in Avengers 4. So we've been seeing that Chris Evans is done.
Right.
He gave a nice, sorrowful tweet a couple weeks ago saying bye-bye. It was great 8 years, but I got to go. That means there's no Captain America. So the question is, can the MCU stand on its own without Captain America?
Yeah.
Looks like they're thinking it might not be a smart move and might be best to go ahead and pass the mantle to Anthony Mackie, which is Falcon at the time, currently. And I like the idea. It didn't work in the comics very well. So I don't know how well it's going to translate.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, the biggest problem that comic books have is they have a hard time passing the mantle. Like, every time they pass a mantle, there's so much backlash, and we end up seeing that person get resurrected or come back like Batman. We gave it to Dick. A couple months, like a year later, it was like, all right, we're bringing Bruce back. Same thing with Captain America. We did it twice. He gave it to Bucky at one time, and then he got resurrected.
Yeah. And
then he gave it to Falcon, and then bam. It was like, all right, we're giving it back.
Yeah, I like Sebastian Stan, Winter Soldier, Bucky, but I just feel like it would be a more compelling continuation of the story, giving it to Anthony Mackie, Falcon. Plus, it would help Marvel with their diversity issue. I mean, and also, I mean, Falcon. How much further can that character kind of go? There's not really a whole lot.
But that's kind of like my problem on why he might not be great to do it now. Like he's a great quipper. He is there with them one-liners.
Yeah,
everyone's got a theme.
I think that would mesh well into maybe tone down some of the one-liners, but also bring a little bit of humor and lightheartedness into an otherwise stern 90-year-old guy in Captain America.
But that's where we've been getting the jokes from with him. Literally, language.
Yeah.
We've been getting the jokes from him being older.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna if we do pass the man on, only thing I see is a woke Captain America. That's the only storylines you can really do with that. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm against it. I love the idea of a woke Captain America. I love the idea of, like, just I was talking about Patriot, which was Eli Bradley, grandson of a guy that was a part of Super Soldier's experiment, but his group was experimenting on without their knowledge.
Yeah.
Like, that's a great woke storyline we can do for Falcon. Like, him finding out what happened the legacy of Captain America.
Yeah, I mean, what if that is the case? What if you find out that he has that kind of hidden inside of him?
And then all you do at that time, if I see it, I see money, because I see Disney like, yo, this Black Panther thing work. What if we do the Black Panther for Captain America?
Yeah. I don't know. I think my money is on that. I mean, everybody listening right now, let us know. What do you think? Would you prefer to see Anthony Mackie's Falcon or Sebastian Stan's Winter Soldier take over the mantle?
Or a third option, let the character rest.
Yeah, or should we just stop Captain America for a while and bring it back up, sometime in the future?
Yeah, let's just let the character rest.
Yeah.
Or make Falcon his own thing. I mean, I can definitely see him doing the MCU miniseries.
Yeah.
Like, have a strong miniseries that Disney streaming service is going to do with the Disney Play. So, yeah, let's do that.
Yeah. Time will tell.
Yep. And then Kevin Feige, I don't think he does anything without a plan. I really don't. I think he's always dropping little hints and little bombs, and it's a strategy behind it. I don't think he says anything in an interview without it being plotted on.
No, I mean, this isn't his first rodeo. I mean, he knows what he's doing. He's not going to make any missteps too, because he's got a pretty good job going for him.
So we're seeing now that he said in the interview, hey, Namor is possible in the future. Now, I think it's based on how well Aquaman does.
I would imagine so. Also, they want to see plenty of Aquaman screen time, so that they can make Namor not look like it's just a straight copy like it actually is in the comic books. So that gives them some time. I mean, they have plenty of other things that they can take care of, and
you got your hands full with everything you just took over, and really, you need to really start working on the next generation. That's why I kind of like the whole Kate Bishop idea. That bring it back to that. That's why I kind of like the whole Kate Bishop idea. If we bring in that, and then we start bringing in young Avengers, like the kids of Scarlet Witch, Wiccan, and Speed. That's your way of getting Quicksilver back without getting Quicksilver.
Yeah,
that's your way of getting like another an interesting power, because we already know she's going to get a miniseries on Disney Play.
Right.
How she has kids is a crazy story. Like, she was so depressed, and with Falcon, she pretty much manifested kids with her powers.
Yeah.
And she made them have powers like her and her twin brother.
Yeah, well, and we also there's been some pretty good evidence that we'll be seeing Quicksilver come back in Avengers 4. So that could be expanded on that too.
We need to start getting ready for. I think Marvel's already thinking about this, but with Guardians on hold still.
Yeah.
And them going to 2 movies a year instead of 3 movies.
Right.
Which is heartbreaking. But yeah, I think we need to start thinking about what's the next group of superheroes. And I know everyone says there's superhero fatigue, but
people have been saying that for 5 years, and nothing's slowing down. In fact, it's just
as long as you make the movie interesting, we're still going to go to the movie.
Yeah, and also, even if they don't, it's going to take several bad movies to slow down this comic book train. It's like,
and if Venom didn't do it, nothing will.
He's still hating on Venom, and neither one of us seen this. Right before we started filming today, he was like, maybe I shouldn't say too much bad about it. Yeah, I shouldn't trash it too much.
That didn't last long, did it? It took me like 5 minutes, and I'm already trashing the movie.
So while we're live, if anybody out there that's watching has already seen Venom, let us know.
I'm literally getting calls every week. Yo, have you seen Venom? I'm like, no. Like, it's so good. And I'm like, I don't trust you.
So I don't know. I know we're gonna see it eventually.
Yeah, we're gonna see it. But to wrap up the Marvel movie news, because again, this is a lot of Avengers stuff that we just talked about, but we do know that we have a rumor of what the 2020 movies is going to be for Marvel, and that's Black Widow, which is expected.
Yeah.
It's about time she got hers. Good job, Scarlett. You stayed in there for a while. I'm glad you didn't take anyone else's roles in some other weird movie that was whitewashed or something like Ghost in the Shell again. But she's got that movie coming out, and then we have the Eternals, which is Chloe Zhao.
Yeah, Chloe Zhao, who we talked about several weeks ago on the podcast. We weren't really familiar with any of her other work.
No, it was mostly Asian films. That she
like indie films and Asian films.
Yeah,
and or both.
But she's going to be heading up Eternals, which is a weird. It's not very known. Even in my vast comic book knowledge, I know of them, but I can't give you an in-depth. All I know is they are involved with the X-Men and the mutants, because they helped engineer that whole classification of humans. So it gets really weird. It's the same. It's kind of like the New Gods of DC.
Yeah.
Which Ava DuVernay is going to be doing that, and I know that's going to be trippy. Like, whatever you do not take the weed brownies or anything before going to see that movie, because it's going to be trippy as mug.
Yeah.
All right. And then right after, we had one of our followers, a close friend of the show, Nick Reed. He sent us an article about the two that got canceled. We heard Thanos snapped his fingers, and Iron Fist and Luke Cage was gone. Off of Netflix only.
Yeah.
So there was an article saying, hey, maybe they're setting up for Heroes for Hire. Nah. I read the article. I just don't see it. Netflix, let's face it, some of this is Netflix and some of it is Disney being petty.
But yeah, I don't know. There's two sides to me. There's what I think will happen and what I hope will happen. I don't think it's going to happen. I hope that it will, because I'd like to see a continuation of those characters, because it was kind of fun seeing the two of them
together. Like seeing them together.
Because Luke Cage would just call out how ridiculous Iron Fist is.
And that's what he needs.
But also, you see that, when the two of them fight, that first scene in
Defenders.
And the Defenders, and Luke Cage is kind of shocked at somebody who can hold their own against him. So yeah, I don't think it's going to happen, but I hope it does.
Look, the only place it can happen is on Netflix. I don't see, because you've made them adult themed. You didn't really make them teenage, or you didn't look for a young audience. You made this rated M.
Yeah.
So now that's rated M, it's hard to digress now and make it less and make it targeted towards teens. So now that you haven't done that, Disney's not going to give more fuel to Netflix. It's a competitor.
Yeah.
I got my own streaming service coming out next year. Why am I going to give you my competitor, my biggest competitor? I mean, mind you, biggest competitor. Why am I going to give you more fuel to take me down? It doesn't make sense. So, yeah, Disney's being petty, but at the same time, I don't see Disney putting that on their streaming service either, because they've already said, we're not going to have rated R material.
I have my own opinion on that. I don't think it's a good idea, but yeah.
Okay. It's a good idea for the branding that they've created. This is Disney. This isn't Marvel streaming service. Right. If they had done a Marvel streaming service and they said, oh, nothing above PG-13, I would call them stupid.
Yeah.
But this is Disney. We're talking about kids. We're talking Aladdin, Lilo and Stitch. We're talking Winnie the Pooh. All this is going to be on there.
Yeah.
So the highest they really can go on that, and I agree with them, is PG-13.
Yeah. So either way, shout out to Nick for sending that to us. And if you want any of your ideas or any articles that you come across that we miss, just send them to us. Let us know.
Read them.
Yeah. It helps us out too. That way we don't. You help us out, and we'll give you a little shout out. But yeah, thanks Nick for getting in on the discussion. So what we have up next?
Then we have well, this is gonna tick off the Black Panther community. So T'Challa apparently might get dethroned in the comics by none other than Deadpool. Yeah, if this isn't trolling at its best, I don't know what is. Marvel has released an image on their multiple sites about issue 4 of Deadpool versus Black Panther, I think, and it shows that Deadpool wins the throne of Black Panther and he will be ruling Wakanda. Now, if you know who Deadpool is, his name is Wade Wilson. He is the Caucasian of the Caucasianists, and he is Canadian. He is not a resident of Wakanda at all. But he gets to be, if he beats Black Panther, he gets the throne.
Yeah.
That's the rule. The only part of the rule is you have to be a royal bloodline in the MCU. In MCU, it was royal bloodline. You have to be a royal bloodline to compete. And in the comics, anyone can compete, but no one outside of royal blood can't handle the heart-shaped herb.
Right.
Now, if I take comic theory, Deadpool and Logan are potentially the ones that can handle it because of their healing factor. Because essentially, if anyone outside of royal bloodline, it's poison.
Yeah.
Well, if you've seen Wade Wilson's face, he's pretty much poisoned all the time. And he's healing and surviving still. So, I see that theory going on. But I don't think we've been doing great with Black Panther viewership in the last couple months, in the last year, really.
Yeah.
He's been getting more interesting in the comics. He's always been interesting in the comics, but people are picking it up more. And then he has his own anime series on Disney XD right now, which is getting some good views. So I don't see them dethroning T'Challa at the moment.
No,
I think
this
it's a troll.
could be just a total publicity stunt.
Mm-hmm.
Also, while I'm thinking about it, because it just popped up, looks like I know Nick was joining us earlier on in the chat, and I think it disappeared. So Nick gave you a shout out like 2 minutes ago.
Yeah,
and you may have missed that. I'm not sure. So go ahead.
All right, and then let's go on the Disney side. We got, which is heartbreaking to me, Wonder Woman 1984 pushed back to 2020. This was supposed to be one of the main films of next year for DC. We had Shazam, then following that, it was going to be July with Wonder Woman 84, and then the Joker movie. But for some reason, Wonder Woman 84 has been pushed back to 2020. Now, Gal Gadot did issue a statement on Twitter saying it's found its rightful home. She's saying this is the right move. So part of me wants to trust her. But the other part of me is like, I wanted this movie next year. Like, how did this get pushed back, but the Joker didn't?
So I think it's because the Joker is supposed to be its own standalone thing, so it's not affected by any of the rest of the worlds of DC, right?
It looks like I can't say what it looks like, but go ahead.
My idea is that Wonder Woman has gotten pushed back because Warner Brothers can't get their stuff together, and they're constantly changing things and trying to figure out what they want this worlds of DC to be. And I think that they pushed their big character back so that they could take time to plan out what they want past that and try and tie that into what's going on with Wonder Woman.
Is it coincident that this happens a week after, or less than a week after, we find out about Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck?
I don't think it is. I think it's a huge part of it because now they've got to rewrite everything. And if there is, and not only that, but if they had something in that script pertaining to Superman or Batman, references to it, then they have to figure out, like, okay, if we reference this in the next Superman or Batman movie, or whenever they pop up again in this world of DC, just call it DCEU or DCU.
No, it sounds too much like MCU.
So they need to have this set up so that, so it makes sense because they have to do this planning. And you get this sense because Marvel got off on the right foot and they planned this stuff out and everything's been working really well for them. DC has stumbled on this. So now they don't have that buffer of a few years like Marvel does. No. They're trying to make this up as they go along, and they're running out of time. So that's my idea. I don't really, I I think they're just scrambling to make sure they have the overall story of this universe down. And that extra, what is it? Is it a full year? Do we know?
It's a full year, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a full year, 2020.
That's a full year for them to get their stuff together. And also, Shazam, early on, it sounded like there was going to be a Superman cameo and some other references. That's what started this whole, Cavill's schedule couldn't make the cameo. Then they got into some debates with, money and his availability. And then he just walked away.
AKA Netflix paid Henry more.
Right.
Witcher. He's like,
yeah.
I can get more money for Witcher? Okay, cool.
Yeah, Henry Cavill's going to be in the new series based off The Witcher. I don't know if he's walked away from that and he's getting a decent paycheck and he's happy. Then I'm upset to see him go because I only got to see him as Superman in a handful of things, and
he was really good at that.
Yeah,
but I mean, we'll see. I really think Aquaman comes as a big play with a lot of this.
Yeah, and they're going to have to rely
how
heavily.
well Aquaman does is going to really determine the direction of the DC universe or worlds of DC.
See, it's not that easy.
All right, and then you're a Gotham fan.
Yeah.
So this week, someone decided to leak a photo out.
I know where this is going.
Of a rejected Sam's Choice version of Bane.
Ouch.
So he looks like. All right, did you see the picture? I know you did because I made sure I sent it to you.
He sent it to me. All right, so
give us your true feelings
honestly,
on how this Bane looks.
I wasn't as upset about it as what some people are, but the Gotham's done a really great job wardrobe wise of making outfits not look like it's a made-for-TV sort of thing. And this looks like a steampunk Bane that got taken over by the Borg from Star Trek. Because he's got like the weird line going up the side of his face to the top of his head. I'm not upset about it. I just don't think it looks great. So
this is the first costume on here that you've like...
Yeah, because I mean, some of them we haven't seen the final version of. This is still a young Bruce. We've seen kind of the proto-Batman. We've seen the early stages of Selena Kyle, but some of the ones we've gone all the way with. I mean, the Scarecrow looks great. It's very reminiscent of the Arkham Asylum games.
Yeah.
And Mr. Freeze, one of my favorite characters, his outfit looks great, and that's one of the more complicated ones. And even Solomon Grundy looks exactly like you'd expect Solomon Grundy to look.
A couple feet short.
Yeah. He's not like 12 feet tall. But still, Drew Powell, I think is his name. He's a really great actor. He plays Butch / Solomon Grundy. But all those characters.
A good transition. I don't give Gotham credit enough sometimes, so I really give it with credit when it does. It did a good transition with that.
Yeah, that was one of the ones because that was at the end of season before last, and Butch gets shot in the head, and then they pulled up his real name, which is now escaping me on the ID or whatever, and it's Solomon Grundy's real name. I don't know why I can't remember right now, but that was one of those where it's like my wife is sitting next to me and I was like, "Do you know what that is?" That's like leading into something different, and so yeah, they've done a great job with that. I don't know. I'm gonna watch it either way because I love Gotham, and I'm really hoping that your boys over at DC decide to transition this over, be the first one to nab up an existing television show and pull it over.
I think it depends on just how well the DC universe is doing. Right now, Titans is getting better and better every episode. I will say that. If you haven't gotten this subscription service, get it now. It's pretty decent price. You can do $75 for annual, or you can do like that's $7.99 per month.
Yeah.
74.
What it saves you a couple of basically.
It saves you like $1. It saves you $1 because I think the whole 3 months free is over now.
Okay.
So 12 months it comes down like $6.99 instead of $7.99.
Yeah. So
you save a whole $1 each month. I did it when it was free months, so I saved $2. Yay me! But yeah, I mean, if DC Universe keeps growing, which I think they're doing as a platform. I think they're doing something different from what the other ones are doing. I think Netflix is trying to hit all aspects.
Yep.
Amazon has changed their strategy. I think they're trying to go for just Emmy
They're
Emmy
trying to shoot for
movies,
those Emmys and Oscars.
and then I'm seeing that Thursday Night Football is on there now, and I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
I'm still not watching football, but yeah.
I don't know if that's actually going to do much. I don't know if too many cord cutters.
You know what? I think you can do something if you're out of town. You're cramped in a hotel or something.
Yeah, but most hotels are going to have basic cable, if anything.
Bro, unless you're in that crappy hotel. If you're in a super crappy hotel, you can always just go on your phone and get on Amazon Prime if you're a Prime user. But if you're a Prime user paying for it, you're probably not staying in a crappy hotel.
But yeah, and also if you're in a hotel that's so bad that it doesn't even have basic cable, then chances are it's not going to have the Wi-Fi, and you're going to end up running up your cell phone bill just trying to watch football. So
yeah, no, I don't understand Amazon Prime strategy.
Yeah, I mean, their content recently has been great, and it's definitely expanding and getting better because early on, there were only one or two shows. I basically just used it for shipping and an occasional discount.
It was like you use it for shipping, and the video Prime Video was an extra bonus. Right. It was frosting. Like, oh, I got this.
Yeah,
maybe that's just the way they need to be. Just use it as it's frosting. You're just extra.
Yeah.
But yeah, DC. Back to my thing. DC Universe is really just about geeks. That's who it's targeted for. If you're a DC fan, cop it. You get your money back with just the comics alone. It doesn't have everything, but it has some very good storylines that you can just pick up and you wouldn't have to pay for.
They never DC Universe is in no way trying to compete with Netflix or something. They're doing their own thing, and I think that's for the best. Mm-hmm. And I hope that a lot of
that's the only niche I like right now.
Yeah, and I hope that a lot of other streaming services take note of that. A decent price point, and they're going for a core audience. It doesn't have to be the largest streaming service. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have to be a YouTube, Netflix, Hulu, whatever.
So yeah, but if they keep doing. If Gotham keeps doing like Bane level costume design, then I don't think they're picking them up.
Like this is just that.
Just to have one.
It's a.
Final, it's all everyone remembers. Just the one bad one. That's all people remember. Is just that one bad one. It's the
final season, and they only got a half a season, so that budget's going to be cramped down a little bit. And they also got a guy who, is physically fit, but he's not like jacked up like you.
No, they gave him some inflatable arms. I saw the arms on them. Like,
have they confirmed though that this is in fact Bane or Bane's father? Because that was another thing going around early on, and if that's the case, then I think that might be better. Give that if it's Bane's father, then maybe that's an excuse.
Y'all just trying to get out of it. It looks like crap. It's trash. It
doesn't look great.
Daddy Bane should have done better.
So either way, and we have other things to look forward to. It sounds like we're going to finally get the final iteration of Joker. It looks like Harley Quinn's going to be introduced, or at least an early
real version. Harley Quinn. Because the last Harley Quinn was a little
the weird like doll face.
Yeah,
thing.
That was weird.
Yeah, I don't know. We will see.
But following that, we got a little bit of Star Wars news. Looks like there's a rumor going out. It's a credible rumor that Darth Vader will be making an appearance in the next Star Wars Episode 9.
Yeah.
What was it? Force.
So it sounds. Pitch? Yeah. The idea behind this, the person who let this leak, if this is in fact a leak, is from the set. They're saying that there's a scene where Kylo Ren has kind of a Force dream nightmare sort of thing, much like what Luke has had in the past, seeing Vader, and then under the mask was Luke himself.
It was like Dagobah training, though.
That was Dagobah training. I think was there a dream in? I don't know. I get them all mixed up. But this supposedly takes place where Kylo is walking down the hallway of a space station, maybe the Death Star, maybe not. Hears somebody screaming, walks up to a room, rounds the corner. And it is Anakin post Episode 3, chopped all up to bits and burned, strapped to the wall while the robots are changing out all of his prosthetic limbs and removing the metal bases from his stump, and basically the torture that he's going through. seeing him scream while he's being pinned down, and everything being reattached. And then as Kylo walks up to him, the armor is slowly being bolted onto him, and by the time he gets up to him, helmet swings down and it's Vader's face. And then the next scene is Kylo waking up from that nightmare and realizing that it was all a dream. So, but this is described to be a pretty brutal looking scene, almost in a way of maybe it's the Force trying to tell him, like, dude, maybe you don't want to idolize this guy, because not only was he not a great person, but he went through a whole lot of pain and stuff and suffering to get to where he ended up going.
Here's my feelings. That's a nostalgia grab.
Yeah, but I mean that's what this entire series is right now.
It really is. And I think that's been the detriment. This is the first episode 7.
Yeah.
Nostalgia grab, but it was done right.
It was done right, but it's almost laughable when you go back and look at it. It was a great film, but it was almost shot for shot remake of A New Hope. Yeah.
But they did it in a new twist, and it was like the passing the baton, so I was kind of cool with it.
Sure.
But then the second one was like, episode 8 was The Last Jedi, was just like, all right, you're hurting me.
It was a dumpster fire.
Yeah, you're slowly hurting me.
And it's still one of those. It's like a slow burn where I left that movie coming out of the theater and I was like, that was awesome. And then the longer I thought about it, I started picking apart all the problems that were there. And the longer that I've been removed from that theater, the less I like it. It's like it has a half-life.
You got theater goggles.
Yeah, I was high on wanting to see a Star Wars movie. Now you have some anime
out of the East, anime baby. All right, so if you're an anime person, there's three main things that happen. You get a good manga, and the manga gets an anime adaptation. That means it gets on the silver screen, small screen. And then if it really gets popular, they might throw it on the big screen. Normally, you want to see the big screen as another animated movie because anime just is a beautiful art style. I just love it to death. But live adaptations get a little weird when it comes to the anime world. Case example, Dragon Ball Evolution. That garbage.
Doesn't have a great track record.
No. Attack on Titan even, and some people will say they love the live adaptation of Attack on Titan. I don't. But they're working on a live adaptation of the new big hit, which I think is like one of the best anime series coming out of this new generation, which is My Hero Academia. To see a live action of that, if you follow the manga, you'll do great. I would like to see all these quirks and different powers and so forth on the live screen and all the special effects. But if you change it up and make it weird, it's just going to be another Dragon Ball Evolution. And I don't want to see that. And it's being done by Legendary Pictures, which is a great production company, but they're known to change things up. And I'm a little worried. So that's my opinion. He's not in anime, so he's not going to give his. But as the anime expert around, don't change anything. It's a great story. Just leave it like it is. Yeah. And then right after, we got Halo series. Stars is coming out with a Halo series, live action. And they're going to start filming 2019. So I see this probably coming out late 2020, early 2021. Yeah.
So, and I think I think this is a good strategy. I think there's something hidden behind this because we know that Halo Infinite was announced at E3 last year. Next
generation, right?
And this is something where they haven't even put a date on it. And most of the rumors circulating around Halo Infinite, aka Halo 6, is that this is going to be made for the next Xbox.
We're expecting all the two next gens, which is PlayStation 5 and the new Xbox. We're looking at late 2019 to early 2020.
Yeah, and more than likely,
I'm
guessing 2020.
I'm thinking, you think so? You think we wait 2 years? Because when they do a year, it's always around Christmas.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be 2020 only because they're still making decent sales off of the Xbox One X and the PlayStation 4 Pro, and they don't want to burn those people out by.
No, that's exactly what they want to do. They love doing that. They love like, yo, yeah, get this new version of the PlayStation 4. Get the Pro version. Get the one with more megabytes. And then as soon as they buy it, oh yeah, we got 5 coming out next week.
Oh, by the way, we skipped over this. Your missus says that everybody's trying to ruin things with live action, and I agree.
As my wife is, I have turned her into a fellow otaku. She knows the same thing. A lot of adaptations get wonky.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I think they're trying to time this Halo series out with the launch of the next Xbox and the launch of the next Spartan and Halo game. So that to me that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I think that's the right time. So 2020, it's gotta be around Christmas because that's when they do it. They always do it like October.
Yeah.
A couple months right, like a month or two right before Christmas. Really get everyone's juices going and like, all right. Let me save up. Okay, I know what the kids know what they want on their Christmas list.
Right.
And if they go up on price, that's the only thing that kid's getting.
Yeah.
You get the system. You don't get no games or no controls with it because it's too expensive.
Or you get whatever it's bundled with if they're nice enough to do that. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I am bummed out that it's on Stars because I don't know anybody who has Stars, and it doesn't make any sense. Like. We as Xbox fans,
that's on that side.
Not this side. As Xbox fans, years ago at E3 were promised original content television series produced for the Xbox on Xbox Live. And this is the biggest franchise available on Xbox, and they're giving it away to another.
What did they come out with?
Oh, they came out and said, no, they didn't come out with anything. They came out at E3. God, this was, I think it was when they announced the Xbox One. And said that they had Steven Spielberg lined up for a Halo series, and it was all going to take place and be exclusive to Xbox Live, so you could stream it. And they even have like Halo Waypoint, which is an app built within, so you can you unlock different things as you play different Halo games. You get like lore and history and new content uploaded on that. So they basically just decided, oh yeah,
So what you're telling me is Microsoft is breaking promises out here.
Yeah, basically.
Because PlayStation did come up with their own original show.
Oh God, we're gonna get into the.
And it was played on PlayStation, on the PlayStation View. Just throwing it out there.
Don't start that fanboy war.
I'm just saying.
We'll have to switch over to Nintendo because we both love Nintendo. We find a place to bond.
We find a place in the middle. Place in the middle. Pokemon and Smash, right? And Nintendo.
Right. So yeah, I think that I expect all this, to come out in 2020 along with the next Halo game, the next Xbox, and if anybody wants to give me their login for Stars or something, I'd appreciate it because I'm not gonna buy into Stars just to watch a Halo series.
No, what you need to do is just find that person that gets that just moved in and they're getting Comcast for the first time or Xfinity for the first time. They get that first year of HBO on Stars.
Right. Yeah. Or just wait for that weekend when it's free for the weekend.
Oh, watchathon,
binge watch the whole thing.
Do they still do watchathons? I'm sorry, I have cut cable off so long ago. I don't even remember if they still do watchathon for Xfinity.
Outside of I have YouTube TV, but outside of that, I've never paid for cable unless it was included with rent, like way back in college years. So sticking with the world of video games, if you are like me and something, although you're not necessarily a big fan of the Fallout series, it is available on both PlayStation and an Xbox. Then the Fallout 76 beta dropped on Tuesday, I think it was. And the fun part about that is they always have to do this, do the crazy acronyms and everything. So it's the Break It Early Test Application. Is apparently what beta stands for, which makes sense.
I mean, that's pretty much what happens.
Yeah. But if you know Fallout lore, the best part about the day that they launched it, which I think was Tuesday, I'm trying to think it back in my head, but in Fallout lore, that is the day that in 2070, that's the day that the bombs drop and wipe out everybody. So that's a big day in the Fallout universe. And Bethesda came straight out and said, this thing is going to crash multiple times. You're going to have tons of issues with it. But that's why we're doing it now in the beta.
It's like a Surgeon General warning on the side of the box.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But they're giving people a chance to check it out. This is also the first type of MMO, although it's not really an MMO, that they've made. So if you're joining in on that, let us know how it is so far. I'm way too skeptical of a multiplayer Fallout game, so I haven't bought in on it. I'll get it eventually if it ends up being a big hit. But no offense to all y'all, but I just want to play it by myself. I don't want to play. Fallout is not something I want to play with a whole bunch of people, unless it's friends. If it works out well with friends, then great.
And then we also have, for those who have been playing Spider-Man in the last 4 weeks, our last month or so, and just been buried in that, guess what? You have a new game. Red Dead Redemption 2 came out this week, and people are loving it so far. They really just threw Spider-Man to the curb as soon as I came out. I was like, all right, I'm done.
Which, by the way, if you want to, give me your copy of Spider-Man and a PlayStation 4.
I was about to say, you need the PlayStation too.
Yeah. But yeah, I feel like everybody that I know, except for the two of us, are playing Red Dead right now. And I'll be honest, I haven't played any of them. I'm sure it's great.
The graphics look good.
I'm a big Rockstar fan.
I'm sorry, I'm a geek that can't play shooter games. I just literally, I'm that dude that when I'm trying to aim, I shoot at everything but the target.
And I'm a geek that does like shooter games.
If you knew me at the LAN parties, and this is telling my age, the LAN parties, when everyone has several TVs and several Xboxes hooked up, if I was at that party at Halo, I was always everyone's first target because I sucked that bad.
But so that's the full rundown of all the news that we had. Now we ran out of names to pick from for random battles, but we're bringing that back right now.
Yep,
so
and
we're gonna pick some for this week. We'll argue them right now. See who wins, and then we'll pick for next week. So
and by win, it's me. I'm gonna win this one because I win most of them.
I don't know about that. All right, so let's see who Don will be arguing for. Lightning Lad,
DC Comics, yeah, versus Iron Man, Marvel Comics.
All right,
that's a decent matchup. So you got Iron Man, I got Lightning Lad.
You call it decent? I mean,
okay. Let's face it. All right. So Iron Man is a futurist, right?
Yeah.
That's what he loves to say. He's a futurist. My dude's from the future. 32nd century, buddy.
Right. I don't know.
I got rings that make me fly.
But
you got boots still.
I'm Iron Man.
And look, that's old tech versus new tech. This is what it's going to come down to. And I'm electric based. I'm just going to fry you. I'm going to fry you.
Tony Stark always has something up his sleeve, man. He's got the aliens.
Yeah, when he's dealing with people that are in the same century as him, every time he's fought someone in the future, he gets destroyed, and then he has a whole futurist meltdown. Kang the Conqueror from the future.
Right.
Beats the snot of him. He goes, why can't I beat him? And then he finally gets some future tech to beat him. That's all. That's Iron Man's whole MO. He thinks in the future, but he's not from the future. I'm from the future, and I'm electric based. I'm frying you to bits.
All right. So I'm saying first round, yeah, you got me. But Stark is known for coming back. So
that's the problem with these fights. So every time it's the first round. Y'all think the first round, I'm going to come back for the second round. No, I'm going to kill you the first round. You're not coming back for the second round. This is done.
All right. So I'll concede. I told
you I was going to win this. I already told you this.
I'll concede. Now, if anybody out there wants to help me out, let me know. It doesn't have to be right now.
Yeah, throw your comments throw your philosophies in the comments. Give them some help because even though I would say electric based, Iron Man's suit is not electric based; it's arc reactor based. So, but I'm still electricity. I'm gonna fry you.
Yeah,
I'm Lightning Lad.
Well,
I have a weak name, but my powers is awesome.
I was going to say, you got the lad versus the man, right?
Yeah, my powers is, my name is weak, but my powers is awesome.
All right, so we'll concede with Iron Man. Follow up, let me know if you know of any way that Iron Man could beat Lightning Lad.
Yeah.
And we'll go ahead and pick right now for next week. So y'all got a week to let us know if you think that there's a way that whoever we pick can beat the other. You got to coach us. Let us know, especially if it's somebody. I don't know. Don puts all these in there, so I could always get somebody. I don't know. All right. So Don's going to be arguing next week for Arsenal from DC Rebirth.
Okay. And Clay will be arguing for Steel from DC Comics.
Steel. All right.
Not the Shaq movie.
I'm glad that it's not the Shaq movie. So
all right, but thanks for joining us for our first live. Tell us how you like this. We might do this more often.
Yeah.
I think I had fun doing this.
Yeah.
So it was great interacting with a lot of y'all. But put your philosophies down below. Hit us up on Facebook, Twitter. You can find us on Instagram too. Just look up Geek Philosophy. On Twitter, it's Geek Philosophy Q. On Facebook, you can find us on Geek Philosophy Inc. And then on Instagram, you can find us on Geek _philosophy. All right. All right. That's our show. Thanks for watching. Geek Philosophy, Geek Way of Thinking. Have a great day, y'all. Bye.
Bye.